Lisa,
Yes, baby girl.
when I grow up, I want to be a woman to society.
Then so shall you be. Welcome to Womenace to Society. I have the privilege today of speaking with a public school teacher. Welcome to the podcast, Mary.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for what you're doing. I knew you back in New York City, and now you've moved all the way across the country. I knew you when you were cocktailing, and now you are teaching.
I know, it's crazy. My friends are like, they actually let you teach students because they know me from those days, too.
And you're teaching 7th grade, is that right?
I teach 7th grade, so I did a program that I learned how to teach quotation marks for 6 weeks, and then they gave me a classroom with no experience.
Are you serious?
I am serious. This is how hard San Francisco is up for teachers. No experience. I mean, my experience was cocktailing and personal training, but I had never worked with children. I have my own and I like mine, but I wasn't particularly a fan of them.
Uh-huh. I understand that. And what did you have to study for 6 weeks?
Behavior stuff. It was more like how to be a CO, how to get 100% compliance. Do not prepare you at all for teaching.
Yeah, that's bizarre to me. Why would they train you in behavioral stuff instead of education?
Right? That is bizarre. Why would you stress that? You know me as a cocktail waitress. I was also a personal trainer. So again, no background in children or education, but a background in people. And the teaching culture is crazy.
What's it like?
You know how it was hanging around the comic strip. People have these crazy stories and this and that, but for the most part, everybody's good, down-to-earth, nice people. It's different. It's like frontline. We actually ran out of water last week because they were testing the water for lead, and all of our water fountains, well, most of our water fountains got covered with something that said, sorry, we're testing for lead. And the kids had no water for a couple days.
How is that possible?
How is that possible in one of the richest cities in all of California? I don't know.
Did they find lead?
Screw compliance and screw making sure the kid behaves. He can't drink the water.
Oh my gosh. And what kind of compliances do they make you adhere to?
It's very confusing because as a teacher, we've taken special ed because we're cutting the budget or for whatever reason, and what we categorize as special ed and try to mainstream them. So there's a lot of kids, most of our kids, first of all, we're a tier 1 school, so over 65% of our kids, something like that, qualify for free lunch, over 33% as a district speak another language. So we're trying to teach another language too on top of all of this. Dealing with immigrants, refugees, homeless kids. These kids, have seen a lot.
How are they able to focus? I mean, if you can't speak the language that you're supposed to be learning, yeah.
If you can't speak the language, if you're hungry, if you didn't sleep last night because you're in a homeless shelter, so these kids walk in the door facing all these things, seeing people get shot. So they're hunting black kids in hoodies right now. If people aren't calling it what they're calling it, that's what these kids have to go through.
These kids are showing up and they're homeless. How are you supposed to go home and do homework if you don't have a home?
Right. Or how are you supposed to focus if you haven't eaten in a couple days or the night before?
And then you're supposed to
drink water.
Yeah, no doubt. And then you're supposed to, with your 6 weeks of training, figure out how to educate these kids that you've been really taught basically to just babysit.
Right, and these are kids, again, we have a huge immigrant population. These are kids that are child soldiers from Africa coming over, seeing things coming from El Salvador, Guatemala, that whatever hell they went through to get here, most people will never see that in a lifetime, much less at 12.
Right, these kids have PTSD.
They do. A majority of our kids do, whether they're coming from violent homes or that situation. I know it, I recognize it, because I'm a victim of domestic violence. It's really easy for me to see it and pick up on it, and these kids are hurting.
Is there any counseling that's available to them at the school?
2 overworked counselors. That's about it. And some social workers. Sometimes it's a great community to be in. They really care about the kids and they want to do well, but it's trauma. I imagine it's what's like when our soldiers come back from Iraq. Touch is hard for them. Sounds are hard for them.
Yeah, I would imagine things that happen in class could be overwhelming too, like too much noise or people getting excited about
triggering.
stuff.
There was a sub next door, and I heard him yelling at the kids, "Shut the hell up. I don't care. This is my last year. You don't understand." And and I was like, you can't speak to these kids that way, much less, kids who already got yelled at this morning. So it's been really, the bar was more functioning than the public school system.
That's really terrifying.
Yeah, we had way more function at the comic strip than we do here. Like, I feel like people were paid okay, and there was time in this, and it sucked.
And these kids are 12 that are in your class? Is that the average age?
Yeah, between 11 to 15. I actually have a 15-year-old, and I teach 7th grade, and my kids can read anywhere from 2nd grade to 12th grade. So I'm also supposed to be able to teach at that level. I have kids that read at a 12th grade level and kids that read at a 2nd grade level.
Well, how the heck are you supposed to teach kids that are that varied? I mean...
Right? Again, common sense things that the school system lacks because of philosophies like no child left behind or differentiated learning. I understand everybody needs to learn differentiated, but I don't, how is the 2nd grader? Like, I looked at him when I tested him, and, he's a really cool kid. They're all really great kids. And I was like, how the hell did you get to 7th grade? And he looked at me and he said, nobody ever really cared.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
That's like Michelle Pfeiffer movie type awfulness.
Except it's happening today in San Francisco, 10 blocks away from an empty home of Zach Zuckerberg. And everybody's giving money abroad when the truth is people are starving in every major city. This is how the schools are in most major cities.
What can we do to help you get food to the students?
We started GoFundMe pages, and we're working with things like that, trying to get basic stuff, because it's just really sad that the kids who need a place to sleep, nice things, a soft place to sit, just comfort, are getting the worst things. It's a jail setup for kids that need comfort and security and food and basic little things is what students need.
And instead you have to watch a bunch of kids who are on different levels of learning, speaking the same language, and
just giving them the same tests over and over again to see if they've made progress. No, man, he's still hungry.
Yeah,
that's how they keep moving.
Yeah, you can't focus when you're hungry. You can't think. You can't rationalize stuff. You can't think straight.
No, and it's, we also live in a really affluent neighborhood. It's in a really affluent neighborhood that has all these restaurants that we could donate food. But again, we need a full-time fundraiser for a public school, and that's not how it should be. There's
a lot of discrepancy between salaries in San Francisco, right? Like, I think it's like a third world country in the way the statistics break down of those who have and those who don't.
I think it was UNICEF just declared the housing crisis in Oakland a humanitarian cause. I don't know how they declared the exact wording, but it's that bad that UNICEF is there.
Yeah, I don't understand. I read something like 80% of young black men who are graduating out of high school in California cannot read.
So the statistics are as bad as before schools were integrated. How the hell did we go backwards?
I don't understand, because these are young kids. These are 17-year-old, 18-year-old young men who should conceivably be applying for college, and they're not literate. They're illiterate, and they've gone through the system.
I'm having my kids do a project next week. My students do a project next week about how they feel that the government spends, I think it's 10 times more on a kid in juvenile hall than they do on a kid at school.
Why is that, do you think?
How does that make you feel?
How does that make you feel? Because you're experiencing this with the wisdom of being older.
Have you seen the movie 13?
Yeah.
So when they have, I think it's that Richard Nixon clip where he's like, all right, we lost slavery, we can't do that anymore. How do we get cheap labor? And they privatize prisons. I think that's why. Prison shouldn't be a business. Again, common sense things that I think people just get twisted about.
Yeah, I don't think they think of it. I think it's that whole stigma of, oh, that person was arrested and sentenced and they're going to be incarcerated. And so we just oftentimes in certain parts of society just don't even think about that person anymore. Write that person off. So it's easy not to think of that as a human being. That's just somebody who's, serving time. But
right. It's not somebody's father. It's not a whole generation of kids that are growing up without fathers because they're incarcerated.
Right. Which has devastating effects.
It is. I'm a single mom, and I can tell you I make an effort I'm really lucky to have amazing cousins that come and spend time with my son because I know he needs that male time.
Yeah, it's very important.
He's a boy.
It's important.
It's something he needs.
Do you have a lot of kids in your classrooms that do come from single parent situations?
Yes, a lot of kids who they don't show up because they're at grandma's until mom gets off work, but mom doesn't get off work till 11, so they're not making it home till about midnight. And I understand that because I shuffle with my mom and she helps me out, and I couldn't do it without her. But, you know, the kids, they need a bedtime. They do. But I understand a mom trying to do the best she can with what she's got.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's really difficult. Women already make less money, and if you don't have a partner to contribute emotionally and financially and physically, I mean, it takes a toll on everybody.
And the way, you know, kids are treated in schools, like people don't realize when you talk about a family and you assume a mom and a dad, like they automatically feel like they don't belong.
Yeah, I
like
know.
That's just not the reality of households these days.
Yeah. Yeah, no, more of us are raising children independently by choice or by, situation.
Which is great. If I had to do it all over again, I definitely wouldn't do it jointly. I am heavily a single mom.
Yeah.
But, it has its effects on him. And it does on these kids.
Well, I think, too, for little boys, it's hard because, you feel like you have to protect mommy every time you leave the house. It puts a stress on a little guy.
You do, and they have to do stuff earlier than other kids do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if my son does chores already, because I explained to him, look, we have this amount of time. I can play with you more if you help me out with this stuff. And it's not something you should have to think about, but it's a reality.
What's it like for your kids? Do a lot of them come from very violent homes or just single homes that are just average? You're trying to juggle a lot of different things, and some things fall by the wayside.
It varies. There's people who come from two-family. I think low income in San Francisco is $140,000 for a family of four.
Isn't that nuts?
There's those kind of low income parents that we have, at $140,000 a year, and then there's kids who are homeless. And they definitely, I had one of my girls who, in school, I guess I identify with the bad kids because I was the bad kid. I went to alternative school. I was the kid who was always in the principal's office. So, she's one of those girls.
I hear you, my sister.
It's a rebel soul. It'll get her far in life. Right now it sucks, but it'll get her far in life. And she came in late to class and yelled. And, I know her, so I didn't send her out of the class. And I pulled her aside and, usual attitude, nothing. And then it turns out that her mom's boyfriend had thrown a remote at her face that day.
Good Lord.
And her face was swollen because she's coming to school like that. So you know what I told her? Hey, take a few minutes. You need some time. Like, these kids just need a few minutes. They're going through some shit.
Yeah.
And they're not being treated like people.
I think a lot of kids are not getting the nurturing they need and deserve. I mean, that's always probably been the way of the world. But it seems like now so many of us are wrapped up in our phones and are making money and are meeting somebody online and whatever else is happening. Just even making ends meet. Things are very difficult right now. I mean, like you said, a family of four that makes under $140,000 is poverty level in San Francisco. You got to hustle.
You have to hustle, but I think, the money is definitely an issue, but you can also just be kind. Kindness goes so far with these kids. And again, if you're teaching compliance, you don't need to teach that. You need to teach understanding of trauma behavior. You need to understand how to treat trauma and what triggers it, and how to just create a safe space for these kids. We may not teach them literature. We may not teach them math, but Jesus, we could give them a safe space.
Give everybody a blanket and a cup of tea and a talk.
Right?
Well,
Stop testing this kid. Just give them a meal. Like, let them chill.
Yeah. Is there a lot of bullying at school? Do you see that?
There is a lot of bullying. That doesn't bother me so much. I think kids are more sensitive than they used to be. Bullying's always been an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But it's learned behavior. Again, if you're coming from neighborhoods of violence and seeing domestic violence, like, I didn't grow up in a very positive household. I didn't understand how to speak positively to people.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually children of abuse, violence, anything like that. It's all negative. You don't even know how to take a compliment. So they fight, but it's because they don't know how to speak to each other. I don't really think it comes from the meanness in this school.
It's conditioning.
Like the people who are bullies, I think, kind of do it as a reflection. But there's not a lot of bullying at the school. As broken as it is, we don't have that many bullies, I don't think.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, that is a positive thing. They're good kids. That's the problem. They're wonderful kids.
It frustrates me that we don't take care of our kids and our veterans and so many other groups in this country that just fall by the wayside. And like you were saying, it's got to be annoying to you to see this going on every damn day. And you're thinking, why isn't the media covering this? People probably want to help these kids and make it better for them. Why can't we get the story out?
No, the sad thing is I think people know because when we go on field trips, we have to take public transportation. So I'm on the bus with 25 middle school kids. And people have actually stopped me and said, God bless you for what you do. Are you like, I want to slap a bitch, but I'm a role model and I'm a teacher, so I won't. But I think people know, and they're kind of okay with it. You know, I think they know if you teach at a poor school, it is like Michelle Pfeiffer's show. I think they know and they're okay with it, which is even worse.
That is worse. Like, why aren't we invested in these babies?
Yep, we're not. And that shouldn't be an economic thing, but it is. My son is going to preschool now, and it's all these people competing for the best for their children, and money wins every time.
It's getting
Their
worse.
children, it's getting way worse.
Mm-hmm. What would you do if you could make one big, huge, drastic change that didn't take any money to do so? What would you do?
Focus on the wellness of a child.
That'd be pretty easy to do.
Yeah, just, hey, how are you checking in? How do you speak to people? How do you feel about yourself? How do you deal with your environment? Give them skills that they can actually use every day. How are you coping with seeing somebody getting beat every day at home?
And if you had one way to make a difference, but it took a lot of money, what would you do?
Give them access to a kitchen where they could cook their own food, a garden where they could grow their own food, make it a self-sustaining school where people would come in the community and get whole organic juice cleanses and everything else that is, the big trend from our garden. And have them run it, have the kids run it, fire the janitors, make them clean their own space. These kids want a space to have of their own. Give them something that's theirs.
That'd be beautiful.
They deserve it. I'm okay with, there's people that are assholes that I don't like. I don't like everybody. But kids, for the most part, are good. They're like dogs. Like, they're solid. They're good.
I'm laughing because it's true. It seems kind of mean-spirited. Kids are like dogs, but they really are. They're loyal and they're curious and they're eager and they're lovely.
It's not till adults that they're bitter and beaten. I definitely don't mean to devalue children, but adulthood is what takes that shine out of them.
Yeah, the
it
ugliness.
Just gets duller with age.
Yeah. The heart grows bitter.
Yep.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today, Mary. I'm excited for you. I celebrate your transition. I think it's super cool, and I hope y'all get that garden somehow.
Yeah, I started with that GoFundMe page for the apples, trying to feed them a piece of fruit a day. So we got to start somewhere.
So where can people find you if they want to contribute to your GoFundMe?
The page is I Ran Out of Apples.
I ran out of apples. And how did that come about?
I had yelled at two boys these boys are the sweetest, kindest kids, but they're a little rough around the edges, and they had just been getting on my nerves. And normally I can take it, but I snapped on them this day. And on the way home, I kind of reflected and was like, what was that about? Like, they normally don't get under my skin. Like, I know they're good kids. And I realized that I had yelled at them because they asked me, why don't we have apples? And I was at the end of the cycle for the paycheck. I didn't get paid yet. I didn't have the money. That was my first teacher cry. I've only had one more since then, but I just cried on the way home because my heart hurt that I was getting angry because I couldn't give them just an apple in the afternoon, but it was $70 a week, 75, 80 kids. It adds up.
Yeah.
So I started the page and we got it to $1,200, and it makes a difference for them, and it's good. So small things.
Small things are a big deal, though. Small things are a big deal when you're seeing your mom get hit or your dad holding down 2 jobs and can't put enough food on the table. Or maybe you're sleeping in your grandma's car.
You know what's crazy is that it's not even that. It is an emotional thing, but I have seen a child in the middle of the test who wasn't doing well, hair was in his face, like kind of muttering to himself when he was supposed to be reading. I asked him if he was hungry. He said yes. I gave him an apple. He pushed his hair back from his face. He began to enunciate. He was getting higher scores on the test, and he could perform because of that small difference. So it's also good academically for these kids. Like, you want to close the equity gap There you go.
It's just some apples.
It starts there.
It does start, yeah. I don't mean to minimize it, but it's just one simple way we can start, you know? Thank you so much for what you're doing, Mary. You're an inspiration, and I wish you continued success. I'm going to go online and find I Ran Out of Apples.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you, Teacher Mary. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for your honesty. A lot of these kids are misdiagnosed as learning disabled or problematic or emotionally reactive when they just hungry. Thanks y'all for listening. Please come back to next Womanist Wednesday. You can find me on my website, lisalandry.com, and if you sign up for my newsletter, you will receive a free audio download. Shout out Ari. I love you, little boo-boo.